So looking at the Jets, obviously a pretty big offseason for them. Going out and getting Aaron Rodgers, kicking Zach Wilson to the curb. Week 1, I have them beating the Bills. Aaron Rodgers' first game as a Jet getting a W. But then in week 2, losing to the Cowboys. Week 3, beating the Patriots. Week 4, losing to the Chiefs. Week 5, losing to the Broncos. But in week 6, beating the Eagles. Pretty big win there. Battle of the Greens. Week 8, beat the Giants, who I don't know if you guys saw this, but the Jets and Giants, like, they don't have a logo on their field, right? Because they share it. But this year,
Mm-hmm.
guess what they're gonna do? They're gonna put
What?
a logo, like,
Put a logo?
for their games. Yeah, so they'll have a logo in the middle of the stadium this year, in case you were
Nice.
wondering. But then in week 9, they're going to beat the Chargers. In week 10, they're going to lose to the Raiders. In week 11, they're going to lose to the Bills. In week 12, they're going to lose to the Dolphins. But then they go on a nice little 3-game win streak and beat the Falcons, beat the Texans, and beat the Dolphins. Uh, and then close the season pretty hot as well. They lose to Washington, but then finish with 2 straight wins against the Browns and Patriots to give them an overall record of 10-7. And they would be my second place team for my AFC East. 10-7. I don't think that's too bad. Like, I don't know. I don't want to. I know it's fun to drink the Jets Kool Aid right now. I think they had about 10 wins last year, right? Maybe less than that. I don't think they had like 11 though. So maybe less than that, but I think they were around that last year. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers is an improvement, so we'll see. But it is the Jets, you know. I don't. This is the first year we've done these predictions where where the Jets maybe are a factor, even like are even a team over 4 wins.
That's very true.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was definitely sipping that Jets Kool-Aid last year
Oh,
with Zach Wilson, and I was close, but not because Zach Wilson. So, well, I'll go ahead with my picks. So week 1, I have them defeating the Bills. Week 2, week 3, week 4, and week 5, they're gonna beat the Cowboys, beat the Patriots, beat the Chiefs, new big dogs in the house, and beat the Broncos. Week 6, they are gonna lose to the Eagles. They're gonna head into the bye for week 7. They're gonna come back, beat the crap out of the Giants, beat the Chargers, beat the Raiders, beat the Bills away while they're away. Come back home, beat the Dolphins, beat the Falcons, beat the Texans. Then they're gonna lose to the Dolphins while away. Miami's home. Then come back, beat Washington, beat the Browns, beat the Patriots for a record of 15-2. With that defense and that young core offense and Aaron leading the way, I think they can get it done.
hell
And
yeah!
I have them winning their division.
They just got Quinn Williams re-signed, right, on a new deal as well,
Yep.
I
as well
think,
as
yeah.
obviously having Sauce Gardner. They're loaded.
Hmm.
Maybe I'm wrong for not wanting to completely sell the ship on predicting them, but we'll see.
I
15 and
like
2 though,
drinking
that's pretty
that
good.
Jets Kool-Aid, so
Shout out to the Jets.
Shout out to the Jets. Yeah, definitely. They definitely have the roster, I think, to do to go on these runs. But can they do it? So for my prediction, I have them starting it off rather rough. Week 1, I have them losing to the Bills, then lose to the Cowboys. They do get a win week 3 against New England, but then they lose to the Chiefs, lose to the Broncos, and then lose to the Eagles. But then after the bye week, they kind of reassess. Aaron Rodgers is probably getting killed by all sorts of media. But then they win the Battle of New York. They beat the Giants, but then they lose again to the Chargers. But then decent run here and beating the Raiders, beating the Bills, beating the Dolphins, beating the Falcons, beating the Texans. But then they do lose to the Dolphins. But then I have them beating Washington. Who knows if they're going to be still the Commanders at this point? They're
I
beating
did see
the
that.
Browns and finishing off with one more win, beating the Patriots. I also have them finishing 10-7,
Nice.
second place in the AFC East. Aaron Rodgers, he still got some left in the tank. Brees Hall was really running until his injury. Maybe he won't be 100%, but I think at some point he will be. They have a good defense. And just all around, they seem like I have a solid team, but we have seen rosters before not quite come together like intended, like kind of like the Chargers last year, the Browns a few years ago. But they have seemed like they were a pretty good team last year prior to injuries and with like needing a quarterback. So we'll see.
It's not bad.
Uh,
What about the old Steve?
all right, Steven.
As a
His
losing every game.
Yes. No, I'm kidding. He has them losing the first two though, Bills and Cowboys. But then he has them beating the Patriots, but then losing it to the Chiefs, beating the Broncos, and beating the Eagles. But off the bye, they lose to the Giants, lose to the Chargers. They beat the Raiders. They lose to the Bills, get swept by the Bills. They beat the Dolphins, beat the Falcons, beat the Texans, lose to the Dolphins, beat the Commanders, beat the Browns, but then lose to New England that last game. And Steven has them finishing 9-8, last
Ooh.
place in the AFC East.
Well,
Our win total, like our over under, is 11, so it'd be 10.5. The field, they have the Jets over under at 9.5, so 10 games. So we think the Jets will win one more game than Vegas thinks. So that means we're high on the Jets. That means we are drinking the Jets Kool-Aid as a not a community, as a whole, you know. Except for Steven, but 9-8 isn't bad either. And Brenden, am I allowed to spoil a pick? Like, I don't know. Can I say like another team that we've done?
Yeah, sure.
So I have the Steelers also at 10-7, right? And so that's my favorite team, and I have the Jets at 10-7 as well. So like, you know, I'm not sleeping. 10-7 is not bad. I'm just not on 15-2. But we'll see. We'll see. Aaron Rodgers, regular season Aaron Rodgers, in hopefully a better environment than his last year in Green Bay. Hopefully things will work out a little better. And plus, he was hurt last year. You know, he was just playing at an MVP level before they got rid of the team and he got hurt. So we'll see about that. Anyways, guys, I think that is going to do it for us. Be sure to check out our other record predictions on the channel. Hit the subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications. And let us know, are we low on the Jets? Are we high on the Jets? What are you guys thinking about the Jets? What do you think about their acquisitions? And we will see you in the next video. Peace out. God, that outro makes me want to come.
I have a dream, that's all I need. I'll make it happen with some work and belief. Know what I want, so I'll take it on. I've made mistakes, but mistakes make you strong. Let's break it down for a minute. I want the crown, I'm gon' get it. You hear me loud, man, I'm winning. Yeah, Charlie Sheen will be grinning.